We started off our day walking through Dublin to get to our bus that's going to take us into Belfast. We got to walk past the St. Patrick's Cathedral as well as the Molly Malone statue. After that walk, we stopped and we had breakfast. We went to Starbucks and I had a cinnamon roll, and then it was time to finally board the bus. I'm so excited about going to Belfast. This city has held my attention ever since I knew C.S. Lewis was born there. I just love C.S. Lewis and all of his works. It took us about an hour and then we arrived at the Titanic Museum. This was our first stop of the day. The Titanic is really special to me, so I was excited to be here. The first level of this museum had background information on immigration, the White Star Line, and basically Belfast itself, as well as its shipyards, its rope industry, its whiskey industry that helped shape the economic situation that the Titanic was born in. We also learned how to signal for help. The second level was about how the Titanic was built, and it brought us to this beautiful reconstructed shipyard that we got to walk through. And then we started seeing signs that said get ready to board the ride, and there is literally a Walt Disney style ride literally in the middle of this museum, and that ride took you through another fake shipyard where you got to see the furnaces and other stuff. This is it right here. The third level had information on the Titanic itself, and so we got to see these beautiful rooms that were recreations of what the Titanic would have looked like, as well as these dishes, which were from the Titanic. They were actually recovered. Then came the most emotionally heavy part of the museum. This was a long room where we got to see the different distress signals sent out by the Titanic and about the Titanic. They were along the walls and kind of spaced out, and the room was dead quiet except for recordings of the actual survivors playing overhead. That room ended in this magnificent wall that had a list of the deceased and those who survived. This was very touching for me because I'm related by marriage to someone who went down on the Titanic, and his name was on that wall. The final thing in the museum is this glass screen that you get to stand on that shows you what the Titanic looks like now. It was very sobering, and I just loved how much respect and love towards the victims that was put into this display. And then it was time to say goodbye to Belfast, get in the bus again, and now it's time for Dunlace Castle. This castle was abandoned after part of the kitchen actually fell into the sea due to soil erosion, but what's still standing is absolutely magnificent. And now on to our last stop of the day, the Giant's Causeway. When we got back to Dublin, this bridge was all lit up for the Bram Stoker Festival. It was so cool, and we got to see a lot of nighttime Dublin as we walked to the Brazen Head, which was the pub where we decided to eat. Now, the Brazen Head is the oldest pub in Ireland. It was founded in the 1100s, and they try to keep up that old-time feel, as you can see by this amazing entryway. After all, when it was founded, it was the 1100s. Eva Pembroke was still in control in Ireland, which is crazy to think about. They try to light it mostly by lamps to keep up this feel, although the building that's there now isn't from the 1100s. Sadly, it was made in the 1700s. This pub also has a memorial to the men who died during the Easter Rising because they actually met in that pub to plan the uprising, which is cool. And this pub had the best fish and chips I've ever had in my life, and I don't say that lightly. And that's all for today.